And of course, the coloring. I find it very funny part. To make the process easy, we choose the layer and put this reference thingy. So when we create new layer and drop, it will be limited with this reference layer. So as you can see, we have our outline and our color layer on different layers. So we can change them if we need to. And we do the same with every part of a jacket, the body, and so on. So I have a reference here, I look at it and add in the color in accordance with our reference. There will be some mistakes we did in the outline, so we will have to correct them. All our color will go to the places where we don't want them to be. For example, here. I also use the eyedropper. To use an eyedropper, you can press this square button and just hold it, and there will be an eyedropper. Or you can change the way you like it in preferences. For example, I use the push, so I press finger on the place that I needed eyedropper on. The cursor changed to eyedropper tool, so I don't have to press this button and save some minor quants of energy. And don't worry about how it will be looking different lighting. For example, at night or during the day. I will explain it in the next video when we will talk about shading. It's usually you use different layers for that. We'll talk about this later. So far I'm just copying the same colors as in our reference concept. So somewhere we can find the breach of our outline. And there is a hint. For example, there is some minor breach. You just put the color and then hold your pen and then drag the pen right or left and you will see this threshold. So it will ignore some minor space between the lines. It will leave these white marks, but we will correct them a bit later. So for example, you can do it manually, or there is another way that you create a new layer underneath this one, and you put just your brush and then color with any color just beside it. So to remove these white stripes, and then you can pitch the layers to combine them, and that's it. You can repeat the process as much as you want, but usually one is enough. So we have the same problem with tie, that our line isn't finished. We correct here, there. Again, you see these white dots and stripes, so we correct them with drawing on the underlaying layer. And once again, this character will be rather small. So don't worry about these rough lines or some messy lines. It doesn't matter. Keep this in mind. But if you're going to make like very close shot, so yes, you have to be very precise and very artistic. It also depends on your style. So mine is just cartoonish, like quick drawing style. And you can be very, very artistic, like Miyazaki maybe or something. But you just need to find the way you like more. For example, you can find a lot of animations which is quite simple, if not say primitive. For example, South Park, or some other animations. For example, this one I found on TikTok. It is amazing actually, but it is very simple. So the main idea is the voice, the text, and yeah, a bit how does this character look. So if you think your animation is meh, or you don't like it yourself, and it doesn't matter. You can create a real masterpiece, even with the simplest drawing. I don't pretend to be one, but I just like this way. You can have other ideas. And as we don't have this outline at the very top, we draw it manually. outlining layers as a reference and then create the layer underneath it. And we can just put the color we need, so not to draw it manually. As you see, as our outlining layer is above this one with color one, we just color object without worrying to disturb our outlines. For example, if I will be drawing manually on our outline and trying to color it, you will always mess with the outlines and they won't be this straight and look really messy. So as our wings also isn't closed shape, I'm drawing it manually. And again, I'm combining all these layers of the wings in one group. We will need it when animating. For example, if you won't combine it in one group, when animation, different layers will be animated differently. For example, you want the wing to move, and then you animate just one layer, and only this layer will be moving. Like, for example, the layer of color or outline. And that looks really messy. And in your case, you will have to animate all of these layers, the same keys and the same everything you wanted for this wing, and it's really unnecessary. So you just group this and you can animate the whole group, and that's it. Procreate Dreams has some limitation on this, but we will talk about this later. For example, After Effects have no limitations on grouping. It is much more powerful tool, though more expensive, of course. When animating in Procreate Dreams, you will have to keep in mind something. But I'll show you around how to get around some issues. Put glass on separate layers. Why? For example, I wanted to show the reflection of a glass. I create a clipping mask, and for example, there is something that is behind us. We create this something, then put a clipping mask, and as you can see, we can put some kind of reflection, and it looks cool. So keep your glass parts, if you want, on separate layers, and you can create something really interesting with reflection, with light, especially if you want to show that something is behind. But okay, we'll talk about it when shading. I just like how it's look. And technically that's it. We have our coloring. In the next video we will talk about shading. It looks flat now. It doesn't have any volume or shadows and etc. It's okay maybe for some comic look animations, but we can make it a bit better. So we have our penguin and it is ready for shading. See you soon, guys. Thank you for watching.